today's video is on some lipsticks that I mentioned last week, and I am referring to the Revlon Ultra HD matte lip colors. I told you guys if I could find a couple more that I would pick them up and do a video, and I found 2 more. There are 6 total in the line, but I have 4 of the 6. I felt like I picked up all the shades that are the most wearable for this time of year. We got some nudes, we got a little pink, we have a beautiful berry, and then a red. So let's go ahead and get swatching. I will try on each of these lipsticks so you can see how they apply, and then we will talk about the good and the bad. So we're gonna start with probably my most loved, worn color, and it is what I have on my lips right now, and this is called Seduction. And for me, Seduction is the prettiest, just nude. I absolutely love it. I think that it is probably one of the most wearable shades. If you can get your hands on this, I think it's beautiful. A lot of people don't like the fragrance of these, but I do. I think they smell delicious. So I know that's odd, but I absolutely love the way that these smell, and I think that the formula is beautiful. Now, when they say matte lipsticks, I feel like these don't actually get 100% matte for a while. Like it takes a little while for them to settle, for them to mattify. You have to do some eating, do some drinking, maybe blot your lips a little bit, because it does have a nice shine for the first probably 30-45 minutes of wear. But it is beautiful, I will say that. But I wouldn't actually call these like an actual matte lipstick, because it takes a little while for the matte part to kick in. All right, so we are gonna try on the next shade, but I absolutely love this one. I feel like this is a very universal shade. People with skin tones that are lighter than me and darker than me can wear it, and it will be beautiful. All right, so the next shade in the line, I picked up Devotion, and it is a beautiful pink. I think it's a really pretty shade of pink. It's not too bright. It's not overwhelming. It is on the neutral side. A lot of different skin tones can get away with wearing this. Unlike Seduction, it is clearly more pink, less neutral, but it still is very wearable. You can get away with wearing it to work and to school, to church, things like that. I feel like it's a really just soft pink that is neutral and wearable. It's not overly bright. It's not one of those baby doll pinks that's just like, ooh. I think for fall you can get away with wearing this shade of pink because it is a little on the darker side, but it is still neutral. So it's not, you know, oh, that's just a shade for summer, or oh, that's just a shade for spring. I feel like you could probably wear this shade year round. Very, very pretty. Now, I will say, for me, I actually wore this shade to church this morning, and it was very patchy, especially where I have a little dry spots right now on my lips. It clung to my dry spots. So I will say that about this one. It clung, it was not so pretty. It ended up being patchy when it did mattify. So just to let you know, I would exfoliate the lips, put a little lip balm on the night before if you plan on wearing this, or even right before wearing this. It might help with that situation. And I know it was only patchy because of my dry situation, but really pretty color. This is Devotion. So, Devotion. Let's move on to the next one. The next shade that we are going to try on is called Love, and it is a very bright red. All right, so this is one coat of Love. It is definitely, I got it on my face. It is definitely an orange toned red as opposed to a blue toned red. I do notice that it's very patchy. So in order for me to probably even it out, I would have to do more than one coat. Once again, it's very patchy along the lines of where my dryness is. So that is something that you guys need to be aware of if you plan on purchasing these. Beautiful. It feels so lovely on the lips though. I will say that. This is a great formula. It feels moisturizing. It doesn't feel like it's drying out my lips. I feel like I look pretty with it on. I'm one of those people that I actually like both orange and blue toned reds. So I would wear this without a problem. But I do see that it is patchy in the center of my lips. This is going to be a shade that will feather. I would recommend lining your lips with these because I do feel that it is starting to go outside my natural lip line. I don't know if that's just because it is a little bit more of a liquid lipstick as opposed to like a mousse, but I think it feels phenomenal. As you can see, definitely a transition in colors. But really, I think these are beautiful. All of them are beautiful. So this is the shade Love. We are going to move on to the very last shade that I have. Also, this is probably my number 2 favorite, if I had to choose. So this next shade is called Addiction. And this is a favorite of mine. It's beautiful. It is stunning. I love it. Okay, so this is one coat of the shade Addiction. Beautiful berry. It's so, so pretty. Now, what I did notice about this one is I feel like it is the least shiny of the 4. Even though it looks it in the swatch on the lips, I feel like this is probably one of the most mattifying ones upon application. There is still a little bit of patchiness with this. 2 coats is probably what I would put on to just get a nice even application, but part of it is I have dry skin and it's just sticking to my dry skin. Yeah, but gorgeous shades, so comfortable on the lips. This will mattify 100% in a little while, but it takes a long time for this lipstick to set. If you're looking for a transfer proof, just you put it on and bam, it's you know, mattified. I would go with something like the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks. Those are as mattifying as you can get. LA Girl has a nice, really mattifying lipsticks. For me, those tend to dry out my lips a little too much, but they are, you put it on and boom, you get a beautiful matte lip. Ofra is another choice, but it does take a little while for that to actually settle down and mattify 100% for the transfer proof part. These transfer, but they also mattify when, you know, after you do that, it helps to mattify the lipstick. So you could blot it off a little bit and you would have your matte lipstick, but it will transfer. Not heavily, and it's starting to feather outside of my lip line. I noticed that, so another one that I would actually use a lip liner with. So all in all, the colors are beautiful, without a doubt. There are 2 more, a very bright pink and a very, I would say like a raspberry color. Those to me are not appropriate for fall, and I wouldn't get them because of it. But these are 4 really pretty, very wearable shades.